The previous one was 69, so close to 69, right?
I call it 69 420 just because it's fun.
It's funny that I read. We have been in with Bitcoin many years. Has been more than 10 years right now. Um, it makes me laugh when I hear like Bitcoin crash. It's like you guys don't know what is a crash. It's like when you see a crash of 90%, that's a crash, baby.
That one hurts. You got to really have diamond hands for that.
It's the diamond hands there. Truly, OG hodl.
DJ OG Huddle.
Yeah. And I think that is just maybe that's the reason why I wanted to talk about it. Volatility. Volatility is natural in any of these assets. Depending on the asset, like in this case, Bitcoin, it is going to be very volatile. And it's funny because sometimes there is a study on the bubbles, like how they created. One of the first bubbles, it was in the 1800s, though, with the tulips. Are you familiar with that?
Oh yeah, people love comparing Bitcoin and tulips.
hmm So there is a bunch of bubbles, right? And for the audience, in the 1800s, people wanted, for whatever reason, tulips they start selling, and because they start selling, it created FOMO, fear of missing out, right? And then people were just like going bananas trying to just buy tulips, and this was in Europe, and it was kind of the first recorded type of a bubble that it just went mainstream.
Yeah.
So, and that's the reason why sometimes they compare it to Bitcoin because kind of in a mainstream. Um, but the interesting thing is how these bubbles develop, because if it truly what it will make it not be a bubble is the times of people is trying to sell. If you keep it for a long time, that price action might not just skyrocket and come down, right? It will actually smooth it out. But you know what? There's always people that they just are trying to trade and speculate, and that's what it makes it the volatility to be that high.
Yeah, that's right. So like over time, we've seen Bitcoin, it's always going up. I mean, eventually it's going to level out. Right now, it's still very early in its cycle. That's the trajectory, right? But like Mando said, yeah, there's ups and downs with that volatility. Uh, but people are sometimes are just kind of very nearsighted. A lot of people, when they talk about it, they don't really tell you whether they're taking like a microeconomic view or a macroeconomic view, or short-term view or a long-term view. So when people are saying Bitcoin's crashing, they might mean like over a small scale, like over the scale of like a few days. Yeah, it came down $10,000 in a couple of days. If you're day trading, yeah, that's a big crash. If you're hodling, that's like a blip, right? It's two different things, and it's all relative, just depending on your viewpoint and the scale of time that you're talking about.
We hit the all-time high, about 73.8 in March 14. Dude, that's a nice milestone, right? So the previous one was 69, so close to 69, right?
I call it 69 420 just because it's fun.
Sure. Uh, I think that, and again, this is not financial advice, right? So we are just two dudes in the internet, but we really think that it's an accumulation phase. If you notice, nothing goes up like a rocket, right, forever. It has to do these waves, and as long as it continues to have higher highs, right, you're still in a bull run. And for those that are not familiar with the stocks, you have these two animals. One is the bull, and another one is the bear. The bulls are the ones that are pushing the price, and there is actually a bull statue in New York, in Wall Street, um, that kind of represents that. And then you have the bears, which kind of represents people that no, the price is not going to be that high. I'm going to sell Bitcoin. I'm going to short it. And I think that right now the bears are losing money.
Well, maybe not in the last few days. So for
Yeah, in the
those of
past
y'all
few
that
days.
aren't following it super closely, so we did go through our last all time high, right around 69K, and we pushed it up to close to 74K as being the new all time high. And I will just mention when people are saying, "Oh, we hit the all time high, it's time for it to go down to the bear market." That's not really how it works. We're gonna be hitting uh, price discovery or new prices that we've never hit before. And we're going to get new all time high over new all time high over new all time high, likely over the next year, year and a half before this cycle ends. Um, we do know this cycle is maybe a little bit different because it hasn't really lined up exactly like previous cycles. So there's always some risk there. Like we're not quite sure. Most people say it's going to be different, but to the upside, it's going to go higher just because there's a big confluence of different factors that are pushing it
Mm.
higher, like the fact that there's ETFs now and things like that. So,
Very
um,
easy. Right now, it's very easy for anyone to. If you have a brokerage account, you can get Bitcoin. You don't need to learn about wallets and about anything. Now, with basically any major company, Fidelity, BlackRock, right? They have their own ETFs. So very, very easy for normal person to even Robinhood, right? Should be
yeah,
listed there as well.
yeah, plenty of ETFs out there. So if you've got a Charles Schwab or another account set up, whatever, you can go out there look for them. There's GBTC maybe not because they've got really high fees, and that's where we're seeing a lot of outflows. Everyone's leaving GBTC or Grayscale ETF to go into some of the other ones that are free. Van Eck, which is HODL, HODL, that's the one that has zero fees at least for the time being. I think ARC also has ARC B is one that also has low fees or maybe free fees right now. There's a lot of them. Just go out and look them up. But those are some that you can get into very easily. It really takes a few minutes, especially if you already have your brokerage account set up.
Yeah. You know, also something interesting about what has been happening with Bitcoin. Ex-President Trump, he was very opposed. He called it even a scam. So, and now he's actually changing his mind. He's like, well, you know, I'm not gonna crack down on Bitcoin. So it's just very funny to me how all of these people that they were completely against it, and now they are changing the tonality and their tone of their statements.
For sure. Well, it's an election year, so people are trying to minimize their enemies and maximize their allies, right? So, a lot of times, people that are into crypto and Bitcoin, they're kind of single issue voters. So they just want to know that their crypto or their Bitcoin investment is going to be safe, and they're just going to vote that way. So, knowing that, there's a lot of politicians out there that are saying, "Hey, I'm pro Bitcoin, or at least not anti Bitcoin." So I think that a lot of people are going to start jumping on that bandwagon, and I think you're going to see that a lot of people are going to be very open to it, especially since a lot of the crypto or Bitcoin proponents likely they will have a lot of money already or in the near future, right? So they don't want to alienate that group of people.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what? I think that's all we've got for today. I want you guys to like, subscribe, and comment. We'd love to hear from y'all. If you like the content, share with your friends. Make sure we get known and we start to get a little bit bigger. So we want to make sure that you guys have a good time. Mondo, anything else?
No, peace out.
Peace out. See y'all
Please.
next time. Dale.